time to be the GOAT. It's time to enter God mode, man, let's get it going. I wanna be the greatest, energy is overflowing. I know I'm stoking the fire, my desire's taking over, not time.
Okay, you beautiful friends, welcome back to the Bag of This in My Truck. And you can tell by the thumbnail, you can tell by the title, we are about to sit back here and watch another My Little Pony video and do the whole commentary thing. But first and foremost, as per usual, the little intro here first and the disclaimer and all that good stuff. Disclaimer being that if you are here to watch the other person's video, by all means, you can try, but fair warning, I am one of them commentators that will be pausing multiple times and giving thoughts upon thoughts upon thoughts. So fair warning, if you want to go watch their video, please go down to the description below or the pinned comment, because I have been getting a little better about leaving a pinned comment as well as a link in the description. But there will be links down there to their channel as well as the original video that we are watching. So fair warning to anybody who is here, commentary videos, that's what happens. People pause things, if I can get the words out of my mouth properly. People pause it and commentate over it, and then they play it, pause, play, pause. So just throwing that out there as a disclaimer and all that good stuff. But we are about to be watching another Toon Time video. Yes, I do not like the fact that they are rapid fire when they do their videos, but at the same time, I still like their videos. So you know what? We're doing another one of theirs. So if you want to go watch it for a second time, jump down to the description, go over there, check it out, and then come on back. And if that's what you did, welcome back. So that's what we're going to do, is watch this video that caught my eye. The title of it is The Evil Version of the Main Six That You Never Imagined in My Little Pony. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to get from it. I saw the title, I wanted to watch it, so I was like, you know what? Let's do it in the commentary mode. Let's watch it, pause, give some thoughts, all that good stuff. So that's what we are doing. Headphones are going on. I'm going to go ahead and hit that play button here in a second, and I can't think of nothing else in this intro. So I think that's what we're going to do, is hit that play button. I'm going into this blind. So let's do it. 3, 2, 1, and play.
Today we'll have a spooky chat, or almost. Have you ever wondered how would be the evil versions of our beloved main six? Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and today we will travel to the dark side of My Little Pony universe, and I promise that it will be scary and fun at the same time. So prepare your heart and come with me. Have you
Balls. Okay. So yes, I know I'm pausing already, but I gave y'all fair warning in the intro. So yes, I like going to the dark side of things. I like to seek out the dark and twisted version of, you know, what could happen as opposed to who they really are. Because we got the cute pastel colored ponies that we're used to, but what if they weren't cute and pastel? What if they were twisted and evil and dark? So yeah, I enjoy that. Let's get to the dark side. So I almost got in reaction mode and started talking over top of the video, so I had to pause it and get my bearings correct, because we do reactions on this channel from time to time, and sometimes I'm in that mode. So either way though, let's continue and play.
Ever imagine how Twilight, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Applejack, Fluttershy, and Pinkie Pie would be if they become villains? Well, that idea seemed crazy, but it was already explored in some part of My Little Pony universe. And get ready, because this video is filled with facts and theories that will make your hair stand on the end. So let's begin with one that everyone remembers of, the famous Discord's Maze from Season 2. This is one of the most iconic moments of My Little Pony, and it was the first time that we saw the main six transform into something different that they're used to. In the episode Return to Harmony, Discord, our famous chaos spirit, escapes from prison and decides to toy with the main six, taking them to a magical maze filled with traps and challenges. But of course, it wasn't just any ordinary maze.
Balls. Okay, so I could have just let the video play and play and play, but of course, commentary video. I don't want to take straight from the video and just let it play and do one of them reactions where people just sit there like this the whole time. So yeah, I remember the episode. I absolutely loved it. Obviously, everyone does. I know there's those select few people out there that didn't love the Discord episode, but I think what I liked about it the most, of course, was the fact that he split them all up and made them do individual things as opposed to all together. So that gave it a different dynamic. So I liked it. So yeah, I don't really have much else to add there, but we were talking about the Discord episode, so I kind of had to jump in and be like, hey, that was good. So let's continue. And
Discord uses powers to completely distort the personalities of the main six, transforming them into dark versions of themselves. Rainbow Dash, that is always loyal, becomes a traitor. Applejack, that is the pillar of honesty, starts to lie to the other main six faces, and ends up giving us these awesome expressions along the episode every time she tells a lie. They're hilarious. Pinkie Pie.
Balls. Okay, so yes, I definitely remember that aspect as well, as Applejack telling lies and just being so freaking goofy with it. It was absolutely freaking wonderful, and I need to go check out those 2 episodes again, because obviously it was a 2-parter, so it's 2 episodes. I need to go check that again, and I can see kind of where this video is going. It's not necessarily the evil version of the main six, but it is, you know, what if they continue down this path sort of thing, I think is what we're going for this with. Because we're exploring different versions of them that were opposite of who they are. So, you know, like Applejack lying and Rainbow Dash being disloyal, and Pinkie Pie, I guess, is gonna want to see people sad and not laugh. And then, of course, Rarity's gonna be stingy. Oh gosh, I remember this episode. It was so wonderful because Rarity wanted that freaking boulder so freaking bad. That was freaking funny as can be. Loved it. Awesome. Twilight. Can't remember. I don't know. Maybe we just need to continue and it'll spark my memory of, you know, Twilight and all the rest of them, Fluttershy and all that, what they were. So, play.
The joy in pony shape gets bitter and sarcastic. Basically that aunt of yours at the family gathering. Rarity, obsessed with beauty and generosity, clings to a dirty stone, thinking that it is a precious diamond. Fluttershy, the sweetest pony, becomes cruel and insensitive. And Twilight, our dearest leader, is the only one that resists, but ends up being consumed by despair by seeing her friends fall into chaos. Anyway, they don't do episodes like they did before, am I right? And this one is easily one of the best of the entire show. And this episode shows how easily our heroes could be corrupted back in the beginning of the series if they were pressured enough. Discord didn't need much to surface the dark side of each one of the main six. And here begs the question, maybe there is an alternative version of the evil side of each of them just waiting to be set free? And what if some villain or magical event amplified those evil tendencies? Try to answer that one. Now let's talk about the other dark versions of the main six.
Pause. Okay, so before we jump into that real fast, she does make a good point. It did not take Discord much to nudge them and be like, granted, yes, I know he has magic, you know, chaos magic and stuff, and he was using that, but it didn't take much for him to be like, oh, now y'all are exact opposite of what y'all were. And Twilight being the only one who can actually be like, nah, you ain't got no effect on me, Discord. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, if they could find enough magic enough to push them completely over. But that's the thing, though, is they're only powerful. So, even if they were evil and the exact opposite of what they really are, you know, Fluttershy's mean and, you know, Rarity is stingy and not generous, and, you know, Rainbow Dash is not loyal, Applejack lies, and, you know, Pinkie Pie, you know, not joyful, she's bitter. Even if they were the exact opposite, they really wouldn't be a group of evil people. They would just be separate. And separate, they're not powerful. But together, they're strong. So, let's continue and figure out where she's going next. And play.
This time from the My Little Pony Game Loft game. If you haven't played that game yet, here's a tip. This game is a gold mine for fans. In one of the game's updates, we see the main six transform into terrifying versions of themselves, all thanks to an accidental spell from Trixie Lulamoon. In this special event, Trixie, trying to be powerful as always, ends up casting a spell that transforms her friends into nightmare ponies.
Pause. So I thought that was just fan art, because I actually have came around and stumbled upon some fan. I thought it was fan art. I have stumbled upon what I thought was fan art of the nightmare versions of the main six. I have stumbled on that. I thought it was fan art. It's actually within a game version, and here's my problem with the mobile game. I don't know how canon the mobile game is compared to the show and the comics. I know there are some comics canon to the show, because I think it was at issue like 90 something, maybe issue 100 of the My Little Pony comics, that they started being like season 10, episode 1 of the comic books, and they were using that as season 10. So, I don't know how the game, whether or not it's 100% canon. So, yeah, that's interesting though. I didn't know that the game actually had a mode where Trixie's the one who actually was like, oh yeah, here's a spell. Now y'all are all the nightmare versions. Because in the comics, we had Nightmare Rarity. That was a good story. But I didn't know we had a Nightmare Pinkie, we had a Nightmare Twilight, Nightmare Dash, Nightmare everybody. Holy crap. Let's continue and find out more. Play.
Creepy, corrupted versions of the main six, each having a sinister appearance, with darker colors, glowing eyes, and a menacing vibe. Twilight, for example, transforms into a dark version with bat wings and a facial expression that would make any pony tremble to the bone. But honestly, her mane is much prettier than the one that we see in the last episode of the series. And I wouldn't complain if they used these designs for her final version as ruler of Equestria. Rainbow Dash, always associated with loyalty, becomes a creature that spreads chaos in the skies. Fluttershy, that normally calms everything around her, transforms into a threatening presence that intimidates even the bravest pony. These versions don't change just their appearance. Each one of them also adopts a malicious behavior that goes in the completely opposite way of their natural personalities. A perfect example of how, under the right circumstances, any pony can turn into something sinister. And of course, the game challenges the players to undo this curse and bring the main six back to their normal state. But not before you face these nightmare versions of them. And how can we talk about the evil versions of the main six without mentioning Pinkamena? I mean, even...
Pause. Okay. So now I'm getting more of a gist of this video, and it's not necessarily talking about the evil version. What we're now doing is just talking, what we're pretty much doing is talking about the opposite versions out there. Like, we discussed the Discord version of them. We discussed gosh, I can't get words out of my mouth tonight. We discussed the nightmare versions of them, and now I guess we're going into like Pinkamena. You know, we're getting that version. So we're not necessarily doing the evil, but we're doing the various different opposite versions of them, which, if they're good, the opposite version of them would be bad. So technically, yes, the evil version. But yeah, oh my gosh, I should download, oh man, if I download the game, I bet the update isn't going to actually have that story. That's going to suck. Because I want to download the game and actually play it, but every time I do, I'm kind of getting bored of the game. I don't know. I might re-download it again. I have no idea. Right now I'm on a Candy Crush fix, and I jump in and out of Candy Crush. I don't know. Now I'm running off on a tangent or something else. Let's continue this and discuss Pinkamia. Play.
Even enough the other ponies have their dark versions hidden, we clearly saw how Pinkie Pie can become if she was evil. If you saw the episode Party of One, you know what I'm talking about. When Pinkie Pie lost their trust in her friends, she didn't just get mad, she totally transforms into another thing. Her mane becomes straight, her smile disappears, and she adopts an empty facial expression. And this dark version of Pinkie Pie shows how vulnerable she is when she felt betrayed and left aside. Her chaotic energy that is usually used to lift the party spirit turns into something way sinister when she becomes Pinkamena. Imagine what would happen if a villain like King Sombra or Discord decided to manipulate her fragility of Pinkie Pie to transform her into Pinkamena permanently. With the powers to create
Balls. Okay, so if she keeps using that one fan art, which, yes, if she was Pinkamea full time, she probably would go down that road of kind of being a little psychotic, and a psychotic Pinkie Pie would be crazy. Granted, we all know about Smile, and if you don't go search it up, because you're definitely too young to be checking that kind of fan animation out. Other than that, though, yes, that would definitely, if we could get really good animation and really good storytelling, I wouldn't actually mind seeing a full episode of really dark, mature My Little Pony stories. Now, ultimately, after I watch it, would I really want to watch it? Not really, but sitting here right now, I want to see a Pinkamea, like the Party of One episode. I wouldn't mind seeing that for a mature audience. That would make for a good story. But either way, let's continue this. We got like, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got about 3.5 minutes left of this video. Let's see where we can go from here. And
create illusions or play with emotions, they could easily make her lose the trust in her friends forever. And from there on, it would be a party of shriveled balloons and bitter cupcakes. A manipulative Pinkamena would be a potential threat, spreading sadness and distrust wherever she goes. Instead of being the soul of the party, she would be responsible to destroy anyone's joy. A Pinkamena corrupted by dark magic could even use psychological traps, manipulating her enemies with the same skills that she used to cheer everyone up. And honestly, that would be really scary. Although it is important to remember that Pinkamena isn't just evil, she is the deep hurt side of Pinkie Pie, showing that even the happiest ponies have their scars.
Pause. Okay, first off, really true for anybody and everybody. The happiest person you see out there does still have scars. So yes, we got to treat everyone with kindness. But she is bringing up some good points here. Pinkie Pie is normally spreading happiness and joy and this and that. But if she were to take that same energy of spreading that happiness, spreading that joy, and then spread chaos and maliciousness and hatefulness and bitterness and just make everyone around her upset, that would, and I don't think she would actually do it person to person either. She would probably, and you know, the exact opposite version of Pinkie Pie, an evil version, wouldn't even be around you to do it. She wouldn't be joyful right in your face. She would be in the shadows, manipulating everything. And with the amount of information she has in her Pinkie Cave on every citizen in Ponyville, she would be a legitimate threat to everyone in Ponyville. The thought of Pinkie Pie being a villain is actually pretty scary due to the amount of information she has. That's probably one of the scariest thoughts right there is the information she has. Holy crap. Either way, let's continue and play.
And that's what makes a dark version so interesting and complex. Creepy. Now for the most interesting part, what if the main six really become villains in the series? Let's picture how that would go. Maybe by influence of some powerful villain or an ancient forbidden spell. Imagine a scenario where a new villain, maybe someone with greater powers than Tyrek and Chrysalis, appeared in Equestria. This villain could have the abilities to manipulate the deepest fears and emotions of any pony, corrupting their essences and turning them into their evil version. And differently than what we saw on Discord's maze, these evil versions wouldn't be temporarily and superficial. They would be complete versions, with the new motivations, new powers, and a new goal to destroy everything that the main six built. Twilight Sparkle, always obsessed with knowledge and control, could become a magical tyrant, ruling Equestria with an iron fist, eliminating anyone that dared to question her authority. Rainbow Dash.
Balls. Okay, I see where we're going with the video now. I thought we were going to actually present a villain who would be powerful enough for something like that, because I thought we were now going into like speculation mode of, hey, if this villain came in and tried to do this, then the ponies would then be this. But it's a what if a villain powerful enough to do it was to come in. So just because we didn't name somebody doesn't mean that speculation still can't be around to say, hey, what if? So if we had that villain to make them become who they were, she does bring up a good point about Twilight. She could definitely become an all-powerful tyrant who literally would take anybody out in her way. And I know she's about to talk about Rainbow Dash and what she would be doing. So I'm going to let her continue. Let's go. And
Dash, in search for becoming faster and better, could become a villain that eliminates any rival that dare to challenge her, spreading chaos in the skies. Rarity, obsessed with beauty and perfection, could create an empire where only ponies that meet her beauty standards are allowed, transforming the rest of the ponies into her
balls. Oh my goodness. I just got World War II vibes from that one. Holy crap. So Rarity, an evil version of her, could then have her kingdom be like, look, if you don't meet my beauty standards, you done. You out. You are not going to be worthy. So you know what we're going to do with you instead? We're going to send you over here. Oh my gosh. And we're going to just, we don't know what we're going to do. You could end up working. You could end up this. You could, too much WW2 vibes there. But Rainbow Dash, there is, I didn't touch on that whenever, I didn't pause to talk about her there for a second. She, I like how she says she would be chaos in the skies. And if she does have that evil streak in her to be, to be evil, she would then work that much harder to be that much faster, that much stronger, that much better than everyone else. So there would be nobody in those skies to be able to keep up with her with everything she's doing. So she would be bringing chaos to the skies, and that would probably be her domain. Granted, Fluttershy, yeah, she's a Pegasus, but she could care less about, the skies and flying and all that. But yeah, the Rarity one gets me a little. Let's continue. And
puppets. Applejack, always proud of her work and tradition, could become a leader of a pony army that sets a regime to protect the idea of truth at all costs, eliminating anyone that disagrees with her. Fluttershy, in contrast...
Pause, okay. Applejack, if she had an evil empire, she would still be 100% truthful. So she would still have... she would still have the element of honesty, but taken to the umpteenth degree of, hey, my truth is my truth, and if you disagree with my truth, then you know what, you're wrong and you're done. That is definitely tyrannical. I like it. These are definitely good versions of each of these because I absolutely would love to see like a two-part episode of these nightmare versions of them. And hopefully it's paused on the same screen I'm seeing and y'all are able to see, you know, that Rarity nightmare that I'm seeing. And honestly, that nightmare Rarity, she still looks pretty freaking innocent and adorable. And that might even be a scarier aspect to it. Oh my gosh. Let's continue, y'all, and play.
With what we know about her, could become a code manipulator, using her abilities to talking with animals to control the creatures of Equestria, turning them into their pawns. And Pinkie Pie, oh Pinkie Pie, she would turn into a nightmare master, using her skills to create terrifying parties that no one would forget about. These hypothetical scenarios open so much space for many possibilities and show how the main six, if corrupted, could cause the destruction of Equestria. It would be a true nightmare to live there, and maybe a challenge that even friendship magic couldn't solve that easily.
Balls. Okay. So Fluttershy, we didn't really touch much on her nightmare version of her. I mean, there are some aspects there that might end up being, you know, able to work with, such as her ability to talk to the animals and work with them and stuff like that. But there wasn't, I don't know what she would do with them other than using them as a weapon. But Pinkie Pie, on the other hand, oh my gosh, the thought of the amount of nightmares that she could cause with her ability to throw parties as it is now. What happens when those parties turn into nightmare parties and they're no longer fun and games but traps and setups and just deadly obstacles for you to try to leave this party? So yeah, holy crap, Pinkie Pie, oh my gosh, a nightmare version of Pinkie Pie would be utter freaking chaos. And I think there's an issue out there as well where Pinkie Pie actually gets chaos magic. Can't remember which issue that was, but at least she didn't just like get corrupted, because honestly I think the scariest one out of the main six to turn evil would definitely be Pinkie Pie. Holy crap. Let's continue because there's like not that much time left. I'm gonna let this video play out because there's only 30 seconds left and I want to be able to listen to it all, and then, you know, afterthoughts time. Either way, let's play and play.
What do you think could happen to each protagonist if that happened? Comment down below. So, what do you think? Would you like to see a whole season where the main six are villains, or that would be too scary for you to handle? Comment down below which evil version you find more interesting and why. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with your friends. Thank you so much for watching this video till here, and hasta la vista.
Okay, so, oh my gosh. Yes, for me, to answer that question there at the end, the scariest version of an evil version of one of the main six would definitely, I've already answered it, y'all already know my answer, Pinkie Pie. Holy crap, the, just in general, I know I'm repeating myself from earlier, but the amount of information she has on each citizen of Ponyville is crazy. Then her abilities to throw parties is crazy. Then on top of that, she's got party cannons. So who's to say, instead of confetti being in those party cannons, what is going to be in those party cannons if she's now evil? I don't know what's getting launched out of there. That's freaking so freaking scary. I don't want to deal with a evil version of Pinkie Pie. Fluttershy, I think you can deal with Fluttershy being evil, because ultimately Flutter, she ain't going to do much. She's going to eventually revert back to being kind and nice. Twilight, I think, you know, I think she could be defeated as an evil version, by appealing to her logic. Because Twilight, she's ultimately going to go with what's most logical, most commonsensical, and I think you can easily defeat her by just showing her, hey, look, you know, if you do this, and this over here is going to happen, you know, you got to kind of think about this logically, Twilight. We can't just go off, you know, being tyrannical dictator and killing everybody, because eventually you're going to have an uprising and something's going to happen to you. So, yeah, Applejack, same thing. An evil version who believes her truth to be the only truth and takes out anybody who's going to try to oppose her. Eventually, there's going to be an uprising. So, yeah. So, they can all be defeated, but I don't think an evil... Well, there is rarity as well. Everyone... The rest of the main six, other than Pinkie Pie, could be defeated. Because the thing is with Pinkie Pie, she's chaotic. She doesn't care. If she had an evil side to her, she would not give one rip. So, think of the fan animation Smile, but on steroids. She would not care. She would be chaotic. She would be like the Joker, amplified by 30. She would just have to be taken out quickly, or she's going to cause devastation everywhere she goes. The worst part about it is, an evil version of her would still be bouncing around like Pinkie Pie, and that would probably make it that much scarier. So, I don't know. Either way, though, I think that was a good video. I liked it. It was kind of, I didn't know how to take it at first, but it turned out to be really good video, enjoyable, fun, gives good discussion about what's going on. I thought it was going to be an evil, a discussion on each of them individually as an evil version. But what it turns out is, pretty much taking the version of them that we've already seen, like the Discord version, showing us what they, this could be how they start that way, and then this is where we go. So I liked it. It was good. I'm at a loss of trying to find more afterthoughts here. I want to find more afterthoughts, but at the same time, if I'm being honest, for me, as of recording this, it's 8:30 at night. So I want to call the wife for the evening and talk to her until we pretty much fall asleep, because we are still that couple that after we're done talking, we will fall asleep on the phone, and whoever rolls over cuts the phone off after we're both asleep. So yeah, sometimes it's 2, 3 in the morning the phone gets cut off. Sometimes I wake up and roll over at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's time for me to wake up anyway, so I cut the phone off then. So yes, we are still that couple. We fall asleep. I'm on the road Monday through Friday, so we have to be as close as we can somehow. So if you made it this far, there's a little bit of tidbit information about me and my wife and how we interact with each other. People are still amazed that after all these years of me driving, that I still don't want to fall asleep without her on the phone. And she doesn't like to do the same thing. Now sometimes, once in a blue moon, we do need a little space. So we do end up hanging the phone up and just gritting our teeth and just be like, alright, I'll chill. So yeah. Either way though, I need to shut up, pass it off to y'all. Hit that like, tickle to subscribe. Don't be texting and driving. Watch what you love and love what you watch. And take it away, Mr. Rogers.
I like you just the way you are.